against or for the Keystone Pipeline, because we're going to end up buying our oil from China, because China's already started to put their pipes and whatever
All right,
to Canada.
that was the part I wasn't certain I heard correctly. Okay, thank you, Susan. The energy generation issue is an important issue, as is the delivery system. Both of them have to be as sound as possible for us to maximize our energy outcomes. Pardon me? Yeah, there's a new route they're proposing. Okay. Here's my concern. Figure out where to start here. The drilling operations in our United States right now are at an 8-year all-time high. You can check the record. It's at an all-time 8-year high.
Let him answer the question.
And the pipeline, the Keystone Pipeline, as proposed, would have taken Canadian oil, traveled it through our Midwest, delivered it to the port, and export that product. So we were used as the turfdom by which to get the vein from Canada to the Gulf. The industry is exporting 27 million gallons of gasoline a day. And I didn't think that we should be put at risk with a plan like that of Keystone. I think that it does not produce the outcome that we want. Now, with the gas prices too, we're beholden to the cartel, the international cartel. They set the price, they adjust the supply and demand relationship to maximize their profits. They know if it goes too high, their demand goes down. They know just where the optimum level is. That's what drives gasoline prices. But we were going to export at a time when people thought we were doing this to grow our supply. So there have been efforts made unsuccessfully to require that whatever is done with that design must stay here for American consumption. They don't like that in the House. They wouldn't approve it because I think perhaps the super PACs might have had something to do with that. They want free reign with that supply. So the concern that we would be used just to ship out a supply and the rejection of attempts to keep it for American consumption was, I thought, very tough.
But aren't we selling to China right now?
You're selling to a cartel.
It goes to China, it goes on Europe.
Well, look, let me tell you, worldwide demand is up significantly. When you're putting on 12 million cars per year in China, the demand curve is spiking.
But what about the jobs? I mean, there's going to be thousands of jobs lost.
With the construction. And after that, there are very few jobs. The thing is, my point is, that people were promoting and supporting the concept because they thought it was going to create an American supply. It's being done to go through our states and then export it out. The jobs are there, yes, you're going to have jobs to construct the pipeline, but after that, you know, it's not ongoing. So, yes. Yes, because there were attempts on the House floor to make certain. Yeah, there were attempts to make certain that it would stay in the U.S. Next question.
I give this to you to take away to read. It's about the Affordable Care Act and the problem of forcing people who make between $10 and $30 an hour to buy a low-grade insurance, and how it will cover maybe 70% of the cost of an individual. It's opening them up still because the co-pays are going to be so high that they still face bankruptcy. That the average working person is a single mother who is often homeless. That the Affordable Care Act guts Medicaid. And there's a lovely study here on the Romney Care. So I know you, if you would be so kind as to take this away, and if you're allowed to. It's quite lengthy. but mostly it's the issue of forcing people to buy basically insurance. My take home is $1,200, out of which I'd have to give $100. I live with relatives. I'm not trying to get you guys. I just dropped a new engine into an '89 car because I cannot afford a new car. I know that it also mentions in there that hospitals mark up their product to the uninsured, unlike they did in the 50s. If you are out of your system, if you go on a trip and you are out of your system, the hospitals, private hospitals, 4 times what they would charge someone, and the nonprofits 2.5%. So even all of you, and you think you're covered, but it means if you go to Connecticut and you have to visit the hospital, their average markup at private is 4 times, and they didn't used to do that in the 50s. So at any rate, and then the poor single working mothers. Yeah. Yes.
And I would have to check your information on your income levels because
I did.
it doesn't sound quite
I already
accurate.
did. I already checked my income. Come on now, my income's a
No, not your income, what you've stated as the guidelines in your
Okay, I
packet.
didn't put the guidelines in there. I went to Kaiser Permanente. They have the very simple form for anybody that wants to look at it. I did it for myself. And it would be about $100 a month, which may sound cheap to you, but my take home is $1,200 a month. So, you know, and then to face an IRS audit, which I already stand a chance of facing because I'm self-employed and don't make a lot of money. I'm screwed, basically, yes. And so supposedly, according to the New York Times, the family of 4 making $66,000 a year will end up with only $8,000 for expendable income. So it forces people, and I don't want to take all their time, into a kind of bondage. And that you do it, or you face an IRS audit, and eventually that's going to mean if you can't pay it, we all know what that means. The IRS can throw you in prison. You're not stupid.
No, that is
Not
stating
now.
beyond the letter
That
of
is
the law.
not right now, but in the future, oh, come on now. I've been audited by the IRS. They have the power always. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. I'll look at your info packet.
Bob Joe, I do have a question. You're up there talking jobs, okay? Healthcare. What is happening is these doctors are quitting their practices and they're going to end up employed by mega hospitals. It's happening left and right. Doctors are closing their practices. How do you plan on having a health care system under the Obama administration to actually fulfill services going forward? It's almost impossible. And then on the other hand, these people coming over here, going to schools, our medical schools, are all foreigners because we can't afford to go to school anymore. End of story. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. You've thanked everybody else, I'll thank you for coming. There are provisions within the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, that develop the people count, the human infrastructure that we need to make the system work. A huge emphasis on primary care physicians, a number of clinicians that will be required with the...
It's not working.
It's not even started.
I'm talking to more doctors that are closing their practices today
Yeah.
for later on. They cannot afford it.
I will tell you that the job count that has come out over the last several months, the growth areas are healthcare jobs. I'm telling you what the stats are, okay? Healthcare jobs, manufacturing.
IRS audit.
IRS.
And, no. I'm telling you, the public sector jobs are down. Public sector jobs are down. Healthcare industry, manufacturing, down also are construction workers. So those are the easy to discern stats that are coming out of the monthly statistical reports on job growth or decline in the country.
One other quick thing. If the Obama system is so good, why aren't you going to have the same health care system?
We're required.
Every one of us is.
We're required. No, we're required. No, it's not talking about now. with the ACA into the future required that you join into the system. Yes. Yes, I wrote some of it. I wrote some of it. So, and we're required to go into the system. So that's the clear, straightforward answer. Yes, sir. Welcome.
Take part in an educational forum on civil liberties. This event is being kind of co-sponsored by members of the New York Liberty Coalition and some members from the Occupy Albany Civil Liberties Initiative. We sent you a letter a couple weeks ago. As of now, we have not heard back. Your opponent.
When is the event?
Well, we offered you several dates to choose from because we're coordinating this with the Dieterich campaign. We'd like to give both you and Bob an opportunity to present your views on civil liberties. I've got the original letter here, a copy of the original letter. I'll make sure you can get it. But we offered up 7 dates. It's going to take place down at the Linda, down in Albany. It's a joint effort. We're trying to bring some people from the left and the right together. Like I said here, both you and Bob Dieterich's views on civil liberties. Can we count on you to attend that?
I will work with our office and you to see what we can get accomplished. You know, it's all working in with our schedule for votes from now through the next several weeks and months. But we'll work with you.
Thank you.
We have to play teacher. I don't want to be.
That's right.
I want to be your equal. I want to be your equal. Don't force me to be the teacher. There are many, many situations already in town that are.
He went there.
The numbers of students who have been able to sign on to healthcare coverage. You know, for those who are asked to pay a portion, those are those who are going to escape and not want to cover themselves with healthcare insurance. And when they're impacted by chronic illness or a devastating accident, we are going to pay. So that's that small 1%, 1.2% that has received a lot of attention. But we need to look at this in the big picture view and move forward with progress. Marilyn, what do we have?
Buenos dias. I'm going to ask about immigration, if you haven't guessed. I want to specifically ask about the DREAM Act. I don't think anyone can argue that children who were brought into this country illegally should have an avenue for citizenship in the only country that they've ever known their entire lives. But after reading the DREAM Act, I was disturbed by how porous and how easily violated and abused it can actually be, thus providing an avenue for other people to become, eventually, get on that avenue to citizenship. And I kind of just wanted to know what you have so much, you yourself personally, because you are a congressman, you're one of many congressmen in our House, but what can be done to do 2 things. One, to secure an avenue of citizenship to children who have only known this country as their only, their native land, and also protect the sovereignty of this country.
Okay, the DREAM Act, I think, responds to children who, through no fault of their own, find themselves living here. And I think that this country is in need of sound, sensitive, smart immigration reform. When we look at the numbers of engineers we're producing as a society, which is woefully short, when we look at the medical community, where we're constantly being approached to help with getting some medical professionals brought into our midst, we look at the impact on our farming community. If we didn't have the soundness of immigration reform, we would be at risk. And I think we need to go forward with sound, sensitive, smart immigration reform